Gibraltar is a British overseas territory and headland located at the southern tip of Iberian Peninsula on Spain's south coast. The landscape is dominated by the Rock of Gibraltar, a 426-meter high limestone ridge. Moors first settled here in the Middle Ages and later it was ruled by Spain. In 1704, Anglo-Dutch forces captured Gibraltar from Spain during the War of Spanish Succession. The territory was ceded to Great Britain in perpetuity under the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713. The name is derived from Arabic Jabal Tariq, which means Mount of Tariq, named after the 8th century Moorish military leader Tariq ibn Ziyad. It has also been suggested that the name is a contraction of the Arabic Jabal Alat Tariq, meaning mountain on the way. Originally the only way into Gibraltar other than by sea, Land Port was rebuilt in 1727 after being the scene of bitter fighting in 13 sieges. The Grand Casemates Square is the larger of the two main squares within the city centre. It dates back to Gibraltar's Moorish period when the place was first fortified, making it as old as the city itself. The square is built on sand that was once a beach. In May 1160, Moroccans sent by the Almohad ruler Abd al-Mumin landed to lay the foundations of the first substantial settlement. This city of victory, Medinat al-Fateh, was small and included the area within the Moorish castle and the land just below. It was this new ruler who changed the name of the rock to Jabal al-Fateh, meaning Mount of Conquest. The square takes its name from the British-built Grand Casemates, a casemate and bomb-proof barracks at the northern end of the square completed in 1817. This memorial was erected by the people of Gibraltar to commemorate the Great War. John McIntosh Square is a main square in Gibraltar. It has been the center of city life since the 14th century and takes its name from John McIntosh, a local philanthropist. Despite its deceptively Moorish appearance, the Holy Trinity Anglican Church was not built until 1825. It was consecrated in 1838 and was raised to cathedral status in 1842, becoming the center for Anglicans in all Europe except the British Isles. Located on one of the busy narrow roads, the Sacred Heart Church is a beautiful Gothic structure from the 1800s that has been lovingly looked after and is found in the upper part of the old town. The convent has been the official residence of the governor of Gibraltar since 1728. It was originally a convent of Franciscan friars, hence its name, and was built in 1531. It was heavily rebuilt during the 18th and 19th centuries. Prince Edward's Gate was named after the fourth son of George III, later Duke of Kent and father of Queen Victoria, who was serving in Gibraltar when it was cut through Charles V's wall in 1790. Nelson's anchorage is where HMS Victory was moved after the Battle of Trafalgar and where Nelson's body rested before being returned to the United Kingdom. Rosia Bay is the only natural harbour in Gibraltar. It was originally called Rosia Harbour, named after a town in northern Italy. Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson obtained supplies for his Mediterranean fleet at Rosia Bay. It is the place where HMS Victory arrived after the Battle of Trafalgar, and Nelson's body was brought ashore to be transported back to England. During the Spanish period, the area around Europa Point was known as Tarfes Bajos, whilst the area above it on Windmill Hill was known as Tarfes Altos. A number of buildings such as Torre de los Genoveses, Corral de Fez, the present-day Shrine of Our Lady of Europe and Nuns' Well existed in this area. Only the last two structures remain today. The Ibrahim-al-Ibrahim Mosque, also known as the King Fahad bin Abdulaziz Al Saud Mosque or the Mosque of the Custodian of the Two Holy Mosques, faces south towards the Strait of Gibraltar and Morocco several kilometers away. The building was a gift from King Fahad of Saudi Arabia and took 2 years to build at a cost of around £5 million. It was officially inaugurated on 8th of August 1997. It is the southernmost mosque in continental Europe and is one of the largest mosques in a non-Muslim country. The Nuns' Well is much older than the Spanish occupation and was probably constructed during the early Moorish period. The original construction could be even older, for when Tariq arrived in 711 AD, he found a small Genoese settlement above Europa Flats in what is now Bufadero, and they would have required access to water. Europa has been the site of Spanish and Moorish fortifications, as well as those constructed by the British, which added to the cliffs which were part of Gibraltar's natural defences. Europa Point is the southernmost point of Gibraltar. The Hardings battery is central to the land at the end of the point. Built in the 19th century, this battery shows the scale of guns that could fire 800-pound projectiles over a foot in diameter over to the other side of the Straits of Gibraltar. Gibraltar became an important base for the Royal Navy during the Napoleonic Wars and the World War II, as it controlled the narrow entrance and exit to the Mediterranean Sea, the Strait of Gibraltar, which is only 14.3 kilometers wide. On a clear day, views of North Africa can be seen across the Strait of Gibraltar, including Ceuta and the Rif Mountains of Morocco, as well as the Bay of Gibraltar and the Spanish towns along its shores. The Sikorsky Memorial commemorates the 1943 Gibraltar B-24 crash on 4th July 1943, which caused the death of General Władysław Sikorski, the Commander-in-Chief of the Polish Army and Prime Minister of the Polish government in exile. The Europa Point Lighthouse, also referred to as the Trinity Lighthouse at Europa Point, and the Victoria Tower or La Farola in Llanito, was inaugurated on 1st of August 1841 in a brief ceremony witnessed by about 10,000 people. The lighthouse has a height of 20 meters and is 49 meters above the high water mark.